Hey guys, Carl Cooper here with On the Black, and I'm joined by Dave Doyle of Mets Report for our weekly chat. How you doing, Dave?
I'm great, thanks.
Good, good. So the hot topic of the week, I'll tell you, the Mets, they give us plenty to talk about. Mike Pelfrey's recent comments about being realistic about the team coming into this year. I guess it's one thing for us fans to talk about stuff like that, but what are your thoughts on Pelfrey and his comments?
It is funny because, I think that he was kind of thinking and talking about the same thing that a lot of us were, before, now and before the season, that the team really didn't have much of a chance to contend for the playoffs. And so I agree with him on that. And also he mentioned that he doesn't think the fans want him back next year. And I agree with him on that too. So, the problem is someone in his position talking about that. And it's got to make his teammates feel pretty poorly about having a guy who's their number one starter going into the season, only because of an injury, but still he was, talking about how he went into the season, into the first game, thinking that the Mets had no chance at the playoffs. So it's a real defeatist attitude for a guy on the team, and probably a little too much honesty from him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And again, it's interesting because his comments, from one standpoint, we've talked about this before, that the Mets probably didn't have a good shot at making the playoffs this year. So it's not a surprise that, someone would say that. I guess the surprise is, he's a teammate, he's actually on the team. And B, from a fan standpoint, the frustrating part about it is, listen, dude, you've been one of the reasons why this team is where they are right now, because you haven't taken the next step up that all of us fans have expected you to do. So that's the frustrating part from my standpoint.
Right, and if he doesn't believe the Mets have a chance at the playoffs, how's anybody else going to believe it? He's their number one starter.
Yeah. So, it'll be interesting to see. I think Colin said that he was going to talk to Pelfrey about it. Didn't want to do it last night because of Pelfrey's start and all. So it'll be interesting to see if what shakes out from that in terms of that conversation, if you will.
Yeah, and I've been saying for a while that I wouldn't mind seeing him gone after the season. I mean, I certainly think he's worth tendering an offer for his arbitration to, but I wouldn't non-tender him. I think he's too valuable for that, but I would have no problem seeing him gone and playing for somebody else next year at all.
Gotcha. Now, switching topics, let's talk about a little bit something more positive from another guy that we've been down on, and that's Jason Bay. And I just want to give you some of his stats for the month of August. So for the month of August, Bay's got 41 at-bats. He's batting .341. He's got a slugging percentage of .610, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, and he's raised his average from .231 to .251 since the beginning of the month. What's your confidence level in Bay? I mean, if he keeps this up for the remainder of the year, is your feeling about him going to be different going into next year?
If he can keep that going for the next month and a half, I would feel much better about that. I'm not confident that that's going to happen because we've seen some streaks from him, very small streaks, both up and down. So I would hope to see that because he's not going anywhere. He's going to be a Met next year, and with that contract, $17 million a year for the next 2 years, he's going to be with the Mets based on his underperformance. So it would be fantastic if he could keep this up and be the guy that they were expecting to get, for $65 million.
Yeah, I mean, from a fan standpoint, the only thing we can do is hope that he turns it around because, like you said, he's not going anywhere. So we've got to cheer for him. We've got to root for him, and we've got to hope that he really figures it out because we've talked about this before. Guys that are part of the solution or part of the problem, and he might be part of the problem right now, but he has to be part of the solution because he's going to be here.
Absolutely, I agree 100% that. He's just a guy because of his performance over the last more than year and a half now that he's untradeable. He makes too much money. He's got too long on his contract. They can't release him. He's gonna be here, and if he could turn it around, it could be huge for the Mets.
Yeah, I agree. Well, hey, Dave, thanks for joining me today for our weekly chat. For those of you watching, be sure to check Dave and I out on Ustream every Tuesday at 7 p.m. as we do a live chat about the New York Mets. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.